If you don't leave with a clear intention, or you leave with an intention that's contingent on another thing working out, you're actually going to set yourself up for a lot more pain and a lot more resentment and a lot more doubt and insecurity. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about letting go of the third party, essentially everything that you need to know when it comes to grief, loss, and doubt. Watch this video. Alright guys, thank you so much for being here today. My name is Serena. If you don't know already, I am one half of Life After Union, a twin flame pair in a union. We make weekly videos for you to help you along your ascension journey, your twin flame path, and basically your spiritual journey. If you're interested in conscious relationships, twin flames, or spirituality, give us a subscribe, follow along. We make videos every single week, so you can hit that little notification bell, keep you up to date with everything that we got going on. And essentially, you guys, so what's going on today is this was a request video, and I want to talk a little bit about the grief process that happens when you are leaving a third party situation. So whether that's you're leaving your soulmate or you're leaving your karmic for your twin flame. So first off, I want to start by saying I can only speak on my perspective of this topic, which was I was leaving a karmic. So leaving a karmic is and can be very different from leaving a soulmate. They can be really similar in certain ways, but they also can be very different in certain ways. So if you haven't already watched, you can watch this video, and that goes a little bit deeper into if you were to leave one or the other, like what that would look like. And again, keep in mind, these are only from my perspectives. So the process of making this decision, and this is not only from myself, but also from a few different people that I've worked with who have gone through this process, it's a very difficult decision to make. Whether you're leaving a soulmate or leaving a karmic, there's going to be grief and sadness regardless. Like, I remember when I was leaving my karmic, I felt like I was literally going to die. Like, I felt like making this decision was the absolute hardest decision of my life. Like, I had really convinced myself that in order to live the life that I wanted to live, I needed to do it with this person. And when that illusion for me was shattered, it was like I didn't know which way was up, which way was down. And for me, it was such a radical thing because I was traveling. And I was like completely by myself. You know, I didn't have my family around. I didn't have any friends around. I didn't have anybody to ground me. So I felt like taking this leap and making this decision, like I literally felt like an astronaut, like going out into space, like not tethered to the spaceship. I was like, I'm literally free falling right now, and I have no idea what's on the other side of this. So just know that if you're attempting this or have attempted this and feel the same way, like, you are not alone. And not to mention, there's a whole life that needs to be mourned when you decide to leave a previous relationship for your twin flame. And that's not to say that you should decide to leave any relationship for your twin flame, right? Because we should never leave one relationship for another relationship. We should leave a relationship for ourselves. So the intention is super important here. And really getting clear on that within yourself, because if you don't leave with a clear intention, or you leave with an intention that's contingent on another thing working out, you're actually going to set yourself up for a lot more pain and a lot more resentment and a lot more doubt and insecurity, right? So if you're only leaving this person because you want to be with another person, you're actually, you know, setting yourself up for potentially failure, because you don't really know that this is going to lead to that, right? And this is why I think on the twin flame journey, it can be really scary, because we have an interaction with our twin when we're in another relationship, and what that brings us is to like this idea of this beautiful transformative relationship that could look so different than anything we've experienced yet in this lifetime. However, if we hitch our wagon, so to speak, to that idea and to that outcome, then we're going to feel like we failed if either we never reach it or it takes a lot longer than what we expected. So one thing you have to keep in mind when it comes to leaving your previous partner is it's going to hurt, no matter whether it's right or wrong, right? If it's right and you want to go in the direction of your twin flame, great. But that's not necessarily what's right for everybody. Twin flame is a mode of awakening, right? And so not everybody's meant to end up with their twin flames. A vast majority of people are, especially right now during New Earth. But that doesn't mean that that's the same for everybody. And that doesn't mean it's going to happen immediately. It doesn't mean that, okay, get this third party out of the way and then all of a sudden we're going to be together. Like when you release a third party, there's so much processing that needs to go on through that. Like for me, and I think I was on the quick side, it took me 6 months of being ridiculously broken. Like I was so broken after leaving my karmic partner that I actually thought I was never going to be able to find love again. I thought I would never be even really capable of love again, because I felt so gaslit and so betrayed and so like, how could I let myself get so manipulated and so abused in a relationship? I just had like zero trust for myself after that. And it took me a long time in order to build that back up. And during that was, the separation phase of my twin flame relationship. And there was many times where I was like, do I even want to go in that direction? Do I even want to open myself up for this to potentially happen again, right? It's one of those things, when you leave that relationship, you have to be so sure that you're not going to repeat those patterns and that you're finally done with all of that karma in order to even pursue your twin flame. And so the sadness that you will feel is that of, losing a loved one. It's like you have to mourn this whole life that you were going to live, or that you did live. Many people that leave their relationships were married, had children, have a lot of things tied up together. And so there's an exceptional feeling of loss that comes with leaving this. And that's not to be understated. I think a lot of times we think like, oh, I'm going to pursue my twin flame and it's going to be all rainbows and sunshines because it's this amazing thing. But in reality, it brings up so much and can make you doubt. It can make you doubt whether that person's your twin flame, and it can make you doubt, did I do the right thing by leaving my soulmate, right? Or by leaving the karmic. One of my biggest fears when I was in that transitional space was that for some reason I was going to have to get back with my karmic. Like for some reason I had this belief or this thought that it was like an intrusive thought that kept coming up over and over and over again, where I was thinking, oh my gosh, what if my karmic comes back from his trip and he wants to get back together? And what if I'm not strong enough to say no, or I fall victim into his like vortex again, and like all of these things, right? And I had all of these scenarios in my head that like would play out with me being back in that relationship, and I was terrified of it, right? But there's other people on the other end of the spectrum that were with soulmates and maybe had a really harmonious or really beautiful soulmate relationship. And it's one of those things where a lot of times we think the grass is going to be greener on the other side, when in reality it's not. And so you've left your soulmate and now you're trying to pursue your twin flame. But what ends up happening is you start to doubt, should I have left this relationship? Did I not appreciate what I had, right? And the only thing that I can say, because I have not directly experienced this, the only thing that I can say is you have to make peace with where you're at right now. So if that's where you're at right now and you're in this doubt and resentment stage, you honestly have to make peace with that, right? Be at peace with the fact that I'm doubting whether I went in the right direction or not, right? And understand that where I am right now, the only way is I have to go forward, right? I can't go back anymore. Basically, that bridge has been burned, so I can only go forward. So every time you ask yourself, did I make the right decision? Just give them the love. And maybe you say, I didn't appreciate this or this or this about them. And appreciate it now, right? There is only now. So if things like that are coming up for you, or, oh, I miss them, or, you know, whatever that is coming up, then do it now, right? Send them that love now. Missing somebody is just a habit. It's just a pattern in our brain, right? And that's not to say it's not valid or it's not real, because it is valid and it is real. And feeling the absence of somebody and the loss of somebody is valid and is real. But it's just a program in our mind, and that program slowly runs its course, right? And so if you have things like that coming up for you and you're feeling this intense grief or this intense loss, give yourself the love and the compassion to truly sit with that and to say, like, this is really where I'm at right now. And I don't need to rush forward into my twin flame relationship to make this go away, right? Sometimes we use our twin flame dynamics and our twin flame relationships as a way to escape our reality right now. And this is when we go into obsessive thoughts. This is when we start to, you know, put our twin flame on a pedestal and say, like, oh, everything will be better when I'm with them. When in reality, it only will be better when you are better within yourself. So allow yourself the space to sit with the grief, to sit with the sadness, to sit with the doubt and the confusion. It's okay to feel like you messed up by leaving your previous partner. That's not wrong for your twin flame, you know, like that's not disowning your twin flame relationship, and that's not, you know, gonna make you go back to the other relationship. I think sometimes we fear our own emotions so much, like I did with my karmic. I feared my emotions so much that I was worried it was gonna push me in one direction or the other. When in reality, if I just sat with that emotion, I would understand what it had to tell me. And the same is true for anybody going through this scenarios. Is if you're able to sit with that emotion long enough, it will tell you what it wants from you. And generally speaking, grief, loss, doubt, anxiety, these things, they don't actually want you to do anything. What they want is to be heard and to be understood and to be acknowledged. So the best thing you can do when you have these emotions coming up from these situations is to truly be present with yourself and allow yourself to be where you are without needing to escape it, right? And that causes you to need to go to some really dark places. That causes you to maybe need to call off work and cry into your pillow all day. Like, all of that is valid. And all of that comes up from time to time on a twin flame journey. That's been happening in the group coaching that I'm doing right now. Is there's big transformations and big emotions coming up, and the people that I'm working with right now are doing an amazing job honoring these emotions and being vulnerable enough to share what's going on with them, right? And being able to say, look, this is what I'm going through. I feel abandoned. I feel betrayed. I feel at a loss. I feel confused. And to be able to share that with another person and multiple other people and have unconditional love, support reflected back to you is incredibly healing. So if I can give you any advice, it's either find a group of people that understand that. And if you're looking to join, you can always sign up down below for our next wave of Twin Flame group coaching. But if you're not able to do that, then give that to yourself, right? Allow yourself to receive the fullness of your compassion, love, and honor towards yourself and your emotions. And I think that will bring you a long, long, long way. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have additional questions, please put it down in the comments below. If you want to know more about my journey, you can always watch the videos that I have on my runner perspective videos. I'll link it up here. And we will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for being here today. Big love. Serena.